The homework blues, how too much homework can be harmful. Here's a group of kids, smiling, laughing, like most kids are, running about, mucking about, how many here have kids? Oh, everybody, that's pretty good. I was going to say, if you don't have kids, you've probably encountered them before, right, in your day-to-day lives. Here goes on now, off to school, full of hope and potential, ready to learn, eager, excited, all that good stuff that little kids are. But as more and more they attend the school, the less and less excited they get. So there's a story about a little girl in school, in art class, and she's over in the corner drawing a picture. The teacher comes over and says, "What is it you're drawing?" And she says, "I'm drawing a picture of God." The teacher says, "But how are you?" The three wise men come over, and the first one says, "I bring gift of gold." And the next one says, "I bring..." Who says what? Frank sent this. So here's a example of some of the answers kids might give on tests that you might say that they're being a smart aleck, answering questions in a way that wasn't intended, but it kind of shows how creative kids are. They use their previous experiences to piece together questions and puzzles and to answer in a way that they think is unique and creative. And schools, the way that they are encouraged to teach, kind of smothers that creativity, and instead of encouraging it, because we're supposed to conform to the right answers all the time, kind of thing. Here's an example of kids' natural creativity. Dinosaur on top of a car. Now you got a remote control dinosaur. That's pretty cool. And when an adult colors something, they try to color it like they think it is real life. And kids are just like, "I'll color whatever I want. It looks awesome." They're born naturally creative. It's pretty good. The problem is that kids are so focused on, because of the teachers and the way schools are designed, the so-called STEM disciplines, where they test you and they have standardized tests, so you kind of are narrow focused on science, technology, engineering, and math. When those are all good disciplines, they're great, and you need them. But it's a little bit too focused, and kids get really, really bored of it, and they burn out, and they get stressed out because of too much of it. There's a joke about how parents, teachers, teachers give homework to find out how much the kids' parents know. And a lot of times the teachers will assign things that are new material at home instead of teaching it in class. And so the kids don't know what they're doing, so they ask their parents for help, and that causes problems. After a test, most of the knowledge is forgotten. This is called Ebbinghaus's forgetting curve, where after a month of time, you only remember about 20% of what you memorized for that test. And that isn't learning, that's being educated. That's cramming yourself full of information so you can put it on paper later, but it's not remembered. And, if I asked any adult a random 5th grader question, would they be able to answer it? And that's why the TV show Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader is so successful, because a lot of the things that you learn in grade school you forget. It's 7, that's actually, it's like a septagon. It's the outer core is the liquid one. Anyone remember that one?
Who cares?
It is Madison. When is the War of 1812 end?
1814.
50.
Ow!
Pretty close. Not bad.
If I was in 5th grade, I would have known that.
So this lack of engagement leads to high school dropouts. 1.2 million a year of kids drop out of high school. 25% fail to graduate on time. 2,000 high schools in the U.S. only graduate 60% of their kids. And those are mostly in low-income, high-minority neighborhoods. And U.S. dropouts commit 75% crimes. This is from the U.S. Department of Education. The problem is that there's a lack of diversity, where schools are encouraged to have conformity instead of diversity, where they encourage testing, standardized tests of the STEM disciplines, which are good and all, but there's a severe lack of things that broaden your mind and develop you in other ways, like humanities, art, culture, physical education. We need to broaden the spectrum to things that kids love and enjoy and engage them in these ways. And the more they're engaged in these, other forms of education, the greater they grow and the more they learn and the better they do on the STEM classes because they're more engaged at school. Creativity expert Sir Ken Robinson says the arts are not only important because they improve test scores, but because they reach parts of the child's mind that otherwise remain untouched. And the thing is that you can't really test humanities and art and all that stuff because, most of the homework consists of the big four: science, math, English, and history. Those are things that you can send home with the kid. They can learn at home with their parents and then have a test about it. No one ever really said, all right, you better finish this art homework before the test comes up because we're going to have a big art test here pretty soon, so better be ready. So how much homework should kids get? This is the National Education Association recommends 10 minutes of homework per grade level. So that seems fair and all, but a lot of kids are reporting 3 times as much homework in grade school and around 3 to 5 hours of homework in high school per night. American Journal of Family Therapy.
Well, I didn't conform.
So that leads to a lot of lack of sleep and stress. Idaho Scholarship Study asked kids how many hours of sleep do you get a night. 67% said 5 to 7. And they asked if they think that's enough sleep. 57% said no, it's not enough sleep. What keeps you from sleeping? 61% said homework. And there's really bad negative effects for too much homework as well. Stress and anxiety, physical health problems, migraines, sleep deprivation, exhaustion, and lack of balance in life. Dr. Kathy Vetterock said grade schoolers shouldn't have any homework. Believe it or not, you learn about math when you're playing different board games. And you learn about space when you put together train tracks and play with Legos. You learn important skills like how to get along with other people when you play with other people. They're learning way more important skills when they're not doing their homework. So less time with your homework means more time in your family, more time learning things that are home skills like cooking, gardening, chores, being with your family, playing games with them, going out, doing after-school activities, sports, martial arts, dance, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that will encourage you to learn and grow and be excited to learn things. Every kid is different. Every kid is diverse, and they all learn in different ways. And we should encourage that by broadening the spectrum, teaching more things instead of just narrowing it, and having less homework. So when you bring your kids to school for the first time, find out schools that don't have homework in grade school especially, and have less homework in high school. Thank you very much.